Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and everything else. If you're a fan of the show, you know this gentleman here, Mr. Robert Samborski of the Apollon Nutrition, Apollon Gym brand. And today we are joined by a news face that I'm very excited about. She is a CrossFitter, she is a product reviewer, and the host of a very popular podcast, the Powerhouse Mentality podcast. Sorry, streaming on Spotify. Allow me to introduce Kaitlyn Kenna Smith. Kaitlyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm honored to be here, truly.
So, Kaitlyn, we'll start off here. What got you into product reviews? Because I think you might be the only female that we know that's a product reviewer.
Yeah, and like we were saying, I think that's working to my advantage, although I didn't plan it that way. It was just it just happened. I've been in social media for like 5 years, really heavily focused on it. And for a while, I was just posting my own fitness journey. And I've always been into supplements. Like since I was 18, I was going to Vitamin Shop between clients and classes and just, looking at all the labels, looking at all the new brands, trying new things. And the last 6 months, I just was like, let me get more into energy drinks. Let me put up a video of myself reviewing them. And I started doing that. It started to gain a little bit of traction. And I remember one day I was in the Vitamin Shop and I was looking at all the different brands and all the different flavors. And I was like, all these brands kind of have very similar flavors, but which one is the best flavor? So I think my first really good video was like a battle of the grapes energy drinks because nobody was doing stuff like that. And I just kind of started running with it. And then it turned into like protein powders and more supplements, like more science stuff. And I just really leaned into something that I've always had a passion for and never knew that it could get traction. And now I just love creating.
Love it, love it. So, Kaitlyn, we'll start off. We had a couple of questions here actually coming in for you, which is great. Um, let's see. A couple of here. Has Kaitlyn ever said no to a brand?
Yes, a lot. And a lot recently because for a long time I was just kind of not getting a lot of brands. I was just posting what I love to post. And recently I get more people come into my DMs and ask me, they'll send me products and they just want me to do a review. But if I go to a products page and it doesn't vibe with me, for example, today I had somebody slip into my DMs asking me, "Hey, we want to send you our greens powder to review." I've been taking First Form greens for 7 years religiously because they're the only ones that I find that fix my gut. So I'm not going to go with a brand that I just don't vibe with or I don't think that it would personally help me or my viewers.
Sounds like Robert, we need to get her some of your greens.
Sounds like it.
So, Kaitlyn, how do you push past the mental wall during your WODs? Obviously, being a CrossFitter.
That's a great question. A lot of it is experience doing it and really finding purpose in the pain and the discomfort. So I have a big goal that I'm working towards when it comes to CrossFit, becoming a professional athlete. And when you find purpose in your pain and discomfort, whether it be during a workout or whether it be at work or doing whatever you want in life, you're going to be able to push through it because there's purpose to what you're doing. It's not easy, but it definitely makes me a better human. And I learn that every single time.
Perfect. Hey, Robert, I wanted to start off with this, but I want to take a minute here just to respect. I know we had a loss in the Apollon extended family, your coach, your mentor, your good friend Jaffer. Obviously, looking from the pictures, way too young. Is there anything you'd just like to say on his behalf? Again, my heart goes out to you, Carolina, Marina, Jessica, and everybody else and everybody in his family. And I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, again, just to be honest, and I, none of us were surprised because he's been battling alcoholism for a very very long time, and phenomenal, fantastic fighter, one of the best I've seen, incredible coach. But he was battling his demons for many years. His brother passed away from suicide years ago, and he was just not well. Put it this way. I mean, whenever he coached me, whenever he coached somebody, he would put his heart and soul into each and every one of us. And we had fallings out here and there because again, he was at times a little bit unpredictable. But Nevertheless, I mean, he taught me a lot. He helped me out a lot in, you know, especially I would say in the beginning. And then at the end, I think about 2 years ago, I came to him and I said, you know what, I actually would like one more fight. But it was more like in theory rather than I don't even think I meant it. It's just something that was kind of on the back of my mind. I was toying with the idea, and I remember the first session that we did, and it was after years of not being active. I absolutely sucked. I mean, I was so bad, and I continued to come to train. I mean, I trained a couple of times, and I was like, okay, I'm too old for this. And I remember that he actually told me that he doesn't allow me to talk about my age anymore. And I think that was, and he was very serious about it. We trained hard. We trained for almost a year for the fight. And, all this time I noticed even between the rounds, he would grab a drink. Oh,
Okay.
as ridiculous as it sounds. But nevertheless, he was always on time. He was always waiting for me. The sessions were phenomenal. We would train really, really hard. He pushed me hard. And, towards the end, he was so confident that I will do good. And he put the confidence in me, which helped me because I had a very rough 2024, very, very rough for personal reasons. It wasn't an easy year for me. Wasn't an easy year for Paul either. It's just not many people knew about it. And having the fight, doing very well, exceeding not only, I mean, probably exceeding my expectations. And I remember the fight was actually early afternoon, and at night he had a flight to his rehab.
Oh wow.
So he actually committed of staying with me throughout the whole camp, not taking any clients, not taking any fighters, nothing. But he stayed there to finish what we started. And for that, I'm very, very grateful because he went to a rehab for a couple of months, came back. It didn't go very successfully. He had to go back to rehab and then, he made a series of very somewhat disturbing posts. He was
Okay.
clearly not well, and and then we found out a couple of days ago that he passed away. Again, it was devastating, tragic. I mean, everybody I know didn't take it well, obviously, but again, none of us were surprised. And it just goes to show that sometimes maybe people in our shoes, when we have somebody like that in our lives, maybe we should extend our help a little bit more and not just kind of observe of what's going on and kind of know, but
Mhm.
maybe we should do something. To be honest with you, like, not to sound poetic, I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know the answers.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes you have to do something, and maybe something is better than nothing, rather than just observe somebody on the sidelines and see, like, okay, he's going in a very bad direction, and you kind of feel sorry for them, and you talk about it, but you don't really do anything. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate the kind words, and it's something that everybody's dealing with. We're okay. I'm okay. It just kind
It
of
hurts.
it hurts, and it is definitely, there is definitely a sense of loss. But life goes on, of course. It just, I'll never forget what he's done for me. And you know what, that fight, that last fight, um it gave me a boost of confidence like never before. And not just as a athlete or as a fighter, because we did plan to fight again. Obviously it didn't happen, but it gave me a confidence more in what I do. And I think that this year, specifically 2025, I think one of the strongest years Apollo has ever had. And I think
Yeah.
that that kind of came from that confidence, maybe even slight cockiness, where that also can help. That that says that, what, despite age, despite all the obstacles in our lives, if you really put your heart into something, you can do it. And for that, I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Robert. Kaitlyn, if you're not comfortable, I want to put you on the spot a little bit because obviously I've listened to a couple of podcasts, and I know you personally, you were in a dark space at one point, and
Mhm.
obviously you've come through even stronger. Like, how did you handle that? How did you come out stronger than ever? If you're okay, comfortable talking about that.
Oh yeah, I'm an open book. I'll talk about anything. Um, I mean, there's been multiple times in my life where I've been in like dark places, like we'll call it rock bottom, but I'm assuming you're referring directly to my eating disorder. Um, I would say some of the biggest things that get me through those times is just literally taking it one day at a time, one moment at a time, and remaining grateful for the little things in life. Because when you're grateful, it's really difficult to be negative. And that's easier said than done, because there are some times when you're in a really dark place and you really don't think that things can get better. But that pain, that discomfort, it truly is always temporary, and things always do get better.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. Now back on track here. I didn't want to take everybody down, but I appreciate that from both you folks. Uh, Caitlin, what is your process for reviewing supplements?
Oh yeah. So my process is I go in depth. Like I want to make sure that I hit all the little things that make that product unique and individually different from all the other things that are out there. And I look really into different ingredients, the dosing, the research, what the brand is all about, because I want to make sure that people truly understand that this isn't just a protein, or it's not just tasty, because taste is subjective. I want them to really have a memorable experience watching my content. I want them to be entertained, but I also want them to be educated and walk away with something.
I have to say, and I think maybe Robert and I talked about it, or somebody else. The video you included your mother was
Yeah.
very interesting. The fact of obviously she's just the run of the mill mother, respectively, and obviously not an athlete or anything, but you brought her on, and obviously she loved the protein that she was testing at that time.
Yeah, I got a lot of comments on people loving that stuff, and I'm like, dang, I wish my mom lived here, because then I just bring her in more often. But she's in New York and I'm in Florida, so it's a little bit of a drive.
Is there a category you enjoy reviewing more than other, or maybe you find easier? Because I know you do a lot of cans.
Yeah, energy drinks are the easiest ones, obviously, because it's like one sip and done, and there's like not a lot of like research and backing to go behind like a lot of the stuff. So I would say energy drinks is my favorite, just because it's fun. There's so many different flavors and brands out there, but I've really been finding a love for doing protein and doing even some other different things lately too.
Perfect. Is there no for the group? Is there an overrated or underrated ingredient out there, Rob? Like, I'll defer to you because I know you're the master of ingredients.
I think there are many, of course. I mean, you already know my opinion of something like S7, which is crap. But I think it's just the industry in general. We tend to gravitate mostly to reviewers, because I mean the customers, probably not we, where there is no specific knowledge and understanding, and a lot of people don't understand ingredients. They don't understand. They understand flavors, and that's why I agree with Caitlin. It's much more fun doing something like energy drinks, because you take one sip and you know whether you like it or not, and then you express your opinion, and you're pretty much done. Yeah, of course there is like Ghost and Gorilla Mind, that they have kind of a formulation to it, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's an energy drink, and we're not even talking about caffeine and energy. We're talking about flavors, so that's fairly easy. But when
Yeah.
it comes to something like supplements, the pre-workouts, intra-workouts, there's so much that goes into it, and very often, not Caitlin, but other reviewers will actually review those supplements as if they review energy drinks.
Mhm.
They will take a sip and are like, oh, okay, this is delicious, phenomenal, blah blah blah, but the formula is crap.
Yep.
And you have a lot of crappy ingredients. I would say majority of the ingredients on the market are shit. So just to single out S7 or Norvalin or a couple of other ingredients that actually have no studies, no scientific proof, no nothing, just basically, um, an ingredient house came up with an ingredient, put a little R circle around it, and said it's a trademark ingredient, and we good to go. And all of a sudden, it costs like a shitload of money, but in most cases actually it costs nothing, because that's the reason why the brands are using them, because they have the little circle,
Yep.
but and that's pretty much it. Oh, look, we're using a trademark ingredient, it's going to give you 700% more pump, and it's bullshit. So I can sit here for hours and go after one ingredient after another one, but I think that the best thing is actually turn to somebody who's knowledgeable, like the podcast that we do, we're very honest about it, or turn to somebody. There are very few reviewers, and you know that most of them I can't fucking stand. But then, somebody like Caitlin, and I'm not saying it because she's here, but I respect her tremendously. She knows I respect her tremendously. Or somebody like Review Brothers in England. You have a couple of reviewers that really know what they're talking about, and you know, do they use is there any money behind it or monetization? Obviously, everybody wants to make money, and that is 100% fine. There is nothing wrong with it. In fact, I admire that. But the truth is, are you willing to lie just because somebody's paying you, because we're talking about your reputation on the line. So I think, like, in terms of ingredients, yes, there's a shitload of bad ingredients out there. You just have to, I don't know, Google it or look for the right reviewer, or or somebody who knows. And knowledge is power. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of things that I don't know. When I don't know, I ask. I try to find out the truth, not just because somebody said, "Oh, it's good," and you all of a sudden you're spending your money on something that you really don't need.
Mhm.
Kaitlyn, for you, let's use a pre-workout. Is there an ingredient that you feel that you like that a pre-workout must have, or in the opposite, is there when you see an ingredient, but like, not even going to try it because it's a bad ingredient?
Yeah, like one specific ingredient that I really like is beta alanine because there's so much research behind it, but I also love the tingles. I'll be honest, like I love that. Um, I'm really basic when it comes to things like this. Like I don't like to fall behind. I love what you said about like they put the little R next to it and then people assume like it's amazing when in all reality is it actually? And I think one of the biggest things to look for too is the dosing. Like a lot of companies just put these ingredients on the labels to be like, "Oh, it has this," but it doesn't even have enough to actually make an impact.
Yeah, no, I understand. Is there a product for both of you, a product or a category that's overhyped this year?
There's a lot of products and a lot of a lot of brands that are overhyped. I mean, again, the list is long. I mean, if we're gonna go for somebody specific, then we have to name what it is or who it is. But for
Don't hold back.
example,
Come on, don't hold back.
no, 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 no. It's not. To be honest with you, I can't even just say it because I have to think about it. There are so many of them, and so many I've seen. Some of them I don't even remember the names. But if you show it to me, obviously I'll be able to. But for example, recently I saw a review about a product that is organ protector or something like
Oh,
that,
yes.
and there was 200 milligram of milk thistle, and it was like hyped up. Oh, look, this is gonna protect your liver. I'm like, how? How
Yeah.
is it even possible? So what are we hyping here? Like, what are we talking about? So I don't remember the brand, but there is a lot. There is a lot. I mean, even Phil Heath just came up with the brand, and I like Phil. He's a great guy, and obviously a legend in the sport. But I honestly think that his line could be better. I
Yeah.
mean, it could be a lot better based on the fact that the formulas that and I said it to him. It could have been better. And at the same time, you have, for example, Ronnie Coleman's line. Ronnie is, in my opinion, the greatest ever. But the problem is that is his supplements good? I mean, they not really, I mean, but it's Ronnie Coleman. Or Jay Cutler is selling supplements again. It's Jay. If you look at his supplements, I'm not saying they bad, but it's not something that screams, 4 times Mr. Olympia supplements. So I mean, those are the things that you would like to see them better. If I could single out anyone, then I guess the one that comes to mind again is Species Nutrition. I mean, again, I respect Dave as an individual, but the supplement line is weak. What started off as a very, very strong supplement line a couple of years, like over 10 years ago, but right now he just released a pre-workout that he calls Extreme,
Yeah.
and we saw that pre-workout. I mean, there's nothing extreme about it. The dosing is not good either. So yeah, it's overhyped, and but I mean overhyped by Dave, but his followers and his customers and people that don't have much knowledge, they see the word max or hardcore or something like that, and unfortunately they fall for it. So I think that's definitely an issue.
Oh,
Better
you can't
late,
say.
better late
Okay,
than never.
that's what my wife says.
That's debatable. What's going on, man?
Can
How
you
are
hear
you?
me okay?
Yeah.
Everything's okay? Sweet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How are you? Welcome to the
What's up?
show.
Nah, glad you could be here.
So Shane, let me introduce you to Kaitlyn. Kaitlyn's one of the best reviewers out there, and also I think the only female reviewer out there. And Kaitlyn, meet Shane, who's the man behind the stacked, not 3D, but stacked website.
Nice to
What's
put a
up?
face. Nice to put a face to the profile finally.
No, all good. Thank you. Good to meet you.
Yeah, yeah.
So Shane, since you just became late, okay, I'm gonna throw questions right at you. I put you on the spot. So, are you surprised at the two finalists for the Protein Wars?
No.
Okay. Do you know who they are, Robert? It's Muscle Sport and Rise.
I was going to say, did you need a different answer? No, I'm never surprised.
I mean, yeah, I'm also not surprised. I mean, they very popular brands, and this is not something that Shane decides, or there is like a voting committee or something like that. This is something that fans are voting for, and both products are very, very popular. I mean, if I would be biased, I would say, Apollo is a better protein than both of them, but at the same time, I mean, again, and I can prove it by facts, but at the end of the day, do we have the same following? No, we don't. So obviously, they have a lot of fans. They very, very well known. They major mainstream brands, and considering that the voting is done by obviously people that work for them and people that are fans of the products and the retailers, I mean, I'm just stating the facts. We have less than 10 employees. They have probably 5,000 or whatever. I mean, Muscle Sport doesn't, but nevertheless, they in every retail store, whether it's because the protein is cheap or popular or whatever. I mean, obviously, a lot more people try they protein than maybe ours or even maybe somebody else's. It doesn't really matter. But I strongly believe that this is the type of competition that only a very big name in will win. Somebody who is mainstream. So there's like Shane said, there is no surprise whatsoever. Rise, Raw Nutrition, do they have the best protein on the market? I mean, obviously not, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who are knowledgeable when it comes to it, they will say so. Taste, that's subjective, but in terms of quality, in terms of how the protein is, no. But you have optimum nutrition, and you have raw, and you have rise, and you have X and Sledge. All those are all big brands with a big following, with tons of employees, with tons of retailers carrying them. So no brainer. Obviously, nobody's surprised.
So you're saying it's the big brands that have the money to buy the bots to go ahead and vote.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
So somebody had asked, has anybody tried the new Bear Bells protein soda? Has anybody heard about this?
It's in my
Yeah,
fridge.
they launched it. Yeah, they launched it a month ago, maybe. I can't remember.
So Kaitlyn or Shane, have you tried it?
Yeah, I had it at Next.
It's on my list for this week.
So what's your thoughts, Shane?
You see, there's an interesting story about clear protein drinks. I don't know if anyone is overly familiar with this. So the it's something to do with the flavor, and I can't remember the exact ingredient. But if the pH level of your mouth is below average or something, or above, the acidity of it turns a lot of the flavor ingredients into little like sludgy pieces. So
Really?
if you have like a clear protein shake or a clear protein drink, it's a little more obvious. Yeah, like when you drink it, you could roll up like little sludgy pieces in your mouth. And I learned this because ESN, their R&D team, was like, "Yeah, what do you think?" And I was like, "I don't know, dude. Still like got this weird shit in my mouth." And she was like, "Oh wow, you're one of them." And she explained the process to me. She was like, "It's like a certain percent, and it comes down to the pH level of your mouth, not necessarily." So that's why there's a discrepancy sometimes. So I've had it, but I'm not exactly the best person to judge because I automatically have it doesn't taste the same to me as it would to everyone else almost.
Is it carbonated or is it just regular kind of flat?
It's carbonated.
Okay.
I think it's mislabeled. It's not a protein soda. It's an energy drink with a splash of protein. It's basically what Rise did with just 2 more grams of protein. Somebody's going to look at that and be like, oh, it's a soda, and then get jacked up on caffeine because they don't know how to read.
Shane, anything new planned for the Arnold? I know it's still a couple
Yeah,
months away here.
Yeah, December. Yeah, 2.5 months. We've got plenty. We got a lot planned. A lot more brands. It should be 50% bigger. We're doing a gym event this year. I'm not sure when or where, but we are. Yeah, and then we got the UK one 3 weeks later.
You want to expand the gym event? Like, do you want to share a little bit more, or are you just going to kind of Blue ball the audience
What,
as you always do.
what's more to say? There's an event that's happening at a gym, and you can come. I mean,
Okay.
it's mostly gonna be brands, but like, we haven't. It's still 2.5 months. I could organize that like a week out. We got plenty of time.
Okay. So, Kaitlyn, what made you start a podcast? What kind of switch gears here?
Yeah, from like 2020, I started in 2022, like early 2022. From 2020 on, I was always just obsessed with podcasts. I like to learn. I was a sales manager at a gym, so I was listening to like a lot of sales podcasts, mental like mindset podcasts and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe I could have a podcast, right? So I just started a podcast. It took me like 6 months. I had the mic and I'd go to record and then I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then eventually I was just like, I'll do it. And it was just literally one episode at a time,
So I told you, yeah. So Robert, she had a good interview with Eric from Paw Power, and I thought, and not because I'm biased to Eric, but honestly, you're very good. Don't diminish what you do. You're very good on the mic, as they say.
I appreciate it. It's taken a lot of experience and practice. Don't go back to like my first few episodes because that's just a disaster.
Shane, have you dropped any? Because I know you're kind of like whack-a-mole. You kind of come up, drop a podcast, and then 6 months later you disappear, and 6 months again.
Right now, I disappeared. Don't really. It's a priority thing. If I have because the Arnold organization stuff right now, that just takes. And like you said, people expect me to take a break, so I'm taking a break.
But you like one podcast every 6 months. How much more of a break do you need?
No, man, it's like one every week for like a good 2 months, and then it'll be a gap of anywhere from 1 to 1 year. So we'll see.
Okay. So have you decided who's going to win Brand of the Year yet?
Yes, I have. I've decided who all of the winners are. The only one that I was difficult on was International Brand of the Year. I decided that yesterday morning when I announced it. I did not know who it was going to be.
So who was it? I didn't look at the website yet. Who was it?
It was between ESN and My Protein, basically. My Protein was my pick just purely because of the spread. ESN had quite a few launches, but My Protein, I feel like, had a bigger variety. And you got to understand, like, when you get to the international markets, formulas aren't as complex usually. But also, both of those guys were doing just a shit ton of things, flavors. ESN had like an ashwagandha lollipop.
Wow.
My Protein did like a protein yogurt with Mueller and a protein smoothie shake that's in convenience stores. Innovation looks very different internationally, but those two kind of just put on the gas compared to previous years, and it was a tough choice. But yeah, I made it on the day.
Is that what Nikki wanted you to pick? Because I'm sure you ran it by the boss. No.
No.
Okay.
I stopped running it by the boss. I don't know when. When was it? I can't remember. Maybe 4 years ago. I'll ask people like, "Who do you think?" Like Lucas. Every now and then, I'll be like, "Hey, what do you think?" Sometimes he'll be like, "Well, that's fucking stupid." Sometimes he'll be like, "Yeah, okay, that's exactly what I thought." It'll depend.
Okay.
I usually have a good idea, and sometimes it comes down to be like, "That doesn't make any sense," and that's usually me just be like, "Nah, they were just fucking cool." That's usually how that happens.
Alrighty. So obviously premium is is premium kind of I don't know if it's a marketing term or there really is a validity to it, but what is everyone's opinion of a premium brand? Like what maybe dictates what a premium brand it is? Kaitlyn, I'll let you speak first if you want. We'll kind of go around the room maybe.
It's hard to say. I feel like if I were to look at a brand and call it premium, it would have to have the right dosing, the right ingredients in the highest quality possible, like regardless of the price, regardless of anything else. I feel like that term is probably thrown around a little bit too often than it should be, you know?
Okay. Robert, I know this is your wheelhouse because I know Apollo's a premium.
I know. I mean, yeah. To just elaborate, first of all, I fully agree with Caitlin, and I think that, just to go back to what Shane said about brand of the year, international brand of the year. I generally disagree with stuff like that. The reason is because, in my opinion, when you're the best, unless you take into consideration something like marketing or sales, but when you're the best, you're supposed to be the best. Meaning, I think that if we are talking about, like for example, in movies, we're talking about best actor. He's the best actor because he put the best performance. So everything has to be the best. The best car is supposed to have the best performance engine and whatnot. And like if we talking about the international brand of the year, we talking about ESN right now essentially and My Protein. I mean, let's be honest, both of those companies in terms of formulations, they suck. I mean, they absolutely suck. They terrible. So I would say that none of them deserve any awards. However, I do agree with Shane is that the international market is very, very different.
Yep.
The formulations are not the greatest. They emphasis is more on flavors and releases and
Value.
collaborations and doing just cool shit, everything but the formulation. So for example, to pick something like that, honestly, yeah, you will pick probably My Protein or ESN because they're most impactful. And I watch the European market a lot, and that's an obvious choice. But when it comes to American market, I would have a problem these days if somebody won like My Protein with one brand of the year in the United States, because I think that, we have a lot of choices. I mean, not, maybe not a lot. I'll go back. No, not a lot, but we have few choices where we have people that really put in quality products, cool formulations, full dosing, like Caitlin said. So to go back to premium, I mean, she again, she's right, the word is thrown around way too often right now. It's so even premium protein. What the fuck is premium protein? Just because it says whey protein does not make it premium, because you can have whey protein that is absolute shit. And even some of the front runners say, for example, for best protein, most popular protein on the market right now that's going to win the protein wars, uh the protein quality, is it premium? Uh, you
Yeah.
know what? Not really. But again, this is by vote from the public, from people, from customers. So majority is going to win just because of popular vote. So it doesn't really count. But would they be premium? Absolutely not. Premium supposed to be, in my opinion, it's the dosing, it's the full transparency. It's the ingredients. That's very important. Are you using something like proven nitrates, or you're using something like Norvalin and S7 in your product? I mean, because then you hardly can count as premium. So I think premium represents itself by not by flavor, but it represents itself by formula, by dosing, and it's not just one product. I think if are you a premium product or are you a premium brand?
Hmm.
Because if you're a premium brand, everything in your arsenal, each and every product has correspond to that word. Like in my opinion, and I'm taking Apollo completely out of it right now, premium is NutraBio. NutraBio is premium. Everything they do, almost everything they do, is fully dosed. Most of the ingredients are good. Those are the premium brands. But we also talked with Shane recently. We had a conversation. I'm not going to disclose the names, but we talked about a couple of brands that were premium, but then all of a sudden they cutting on the dosing. They cutting corners. Whether it's for, well, most of the time it's for business reasons, obviously, and they not what they used to be. Do I blame them? I just watched. Somebody saying that they, cutting on their budget, meaning probably the business is not doing too well, or maybe they had certain issues. But as a result, all of a sudden, premium is becoming not so much premium. So, I kind of stretched the subject a little bit, the topic, but it's basically what Caitlin said. It's the dosing, it's the formula, it's the transparency. That's pretty much, and the consistency of staying premium. Because if you premium today, but tomorrow you decide to cut on your dosing and you decide to cut on your premium, then you're no longer premium.
Well, it's like we've discussed that companies say that they're transparent, but of course, what's the one product that's never transparent? Their protein. So it's
Protein,
like
I
it's
mean,
either
you
all or
literally
nothing.
have a couple of brands that have transparent protein, very few.
Yep. Shane, do you want to agree or disagree with any of the premium statements?
I think it's about right. I think it's it It's changed over the years because like there were brands who charged a premium price back in the day and they put jack shit in there. Now you actually have brands that I mean, it's not hard to find, but there are a lot fewer that are not putting in what you would get out of the money. But I think there's a benchmark now. Like, I think Apollon is a great example of, if maybe it's a too good of an example, but like if you have a $55 pre-workout, $60 pre-workout, and you don't have as many actives or as in depth of a list as Apollon, then yeah, you're probably charging too much or you suck or whatever. I don't care. But like you have these other brands that are in the same ballpark to be called that. And that's whereas that benchmark would have been very different 5-10 years ago. Now you have a lot of guys that would set the standard. So if someone were to say charge $60 for a pre, you better be in line with the likes of Apollon and I mean there are many others, but like in that realm, then you can call yourself a premium brand. And it is very different. Premium brand like Cellucor has premium pre-workout to some extent with C4 Ultimate, C4 Dynasty. But then they have C4, the rest like $30 or less. That's premium product. To have a premium brand, I think, is to have everything across the board, excluding obviously standalone creatines and fish oils and stuff, but to have across the board like that level of that amount for your pre-workout at 60, and that might work out to be $40 amino. That might work to be out to be a, I don't know, $50 protein, a $60 post-workout. But to be on that level, there are a lot of benchmarks. And so it's, I think guys like Robert and Apollon help give you an idea on what you should get. Like I said it to everyone, like my pre-workout 65, and I was like, I don't think so, dude. You see what this guy has for 65? You need to reevaluate your situation. And then like, so you have these references now, whereas previously you kind of didn't have any of that. You just had to take them at their word and just assume they are premium kind of thing.
But Shane, I mean, actually, exactly what you said, Cellucor, right? Like, I personally would never call it a premium brand, but you're right, and I think it's okay to say that they have a premium product.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
think
I
that's
don't
hundred
like,
percent okay. I don't think that I would not get offended. Like, which product do they have? They have a pre-workout. It is like Dynasty, right?
so yeah, they got Ultimate Dynasties there, like,
And
so
they
those
pretty
are,
loaded. I mean, they
they
pretty
are,
good
yeah,
pre-workouts. So I think if they said that, this pre-workout is a premium pre-workout, I don't think anything is wrong. I mean, I
yeah.
would not get offended, and I don't think that they're lying. They just don't have a premium brand, but they can have a premium product.
Jack Factor is another great example.
Yeah.
Very, very cost effective value, around $30. And then they do step up to their extent. Like I wouldn't still put them on like a Poland premium, but they have an alternative premium line, like different versions of their their test booster, the fat burner. And that's a premium to their audience. But again, I wouldn't call it a premium brand in its entirety. It would be premium products or premium series or whatever.
Well, for example, would you agree? Rise. I don't think Rise is a premium brand, but the Godzilla pre-workout is pretty
Yeah.
premium.
Well, I think all of that, because what was they had the pump on as well. Those two
Yes, I
were
forgot the name.
very. I can't. Was it Pump Daddy? Yeah, Pump Daddy.
Yes.
So those, and then they had Stim Daddy. So I think they very clearly separated it in that situation where they're like, "Hey, this is a situation where you pay more to get more," and which, if you have the ability to do a premium version, that would in turn suggest that the others are not. Like you're kind of identifying that. But as a premium brand, yeah, like you guys all said, it's and I would say up Holland, not just because Robert's here, but it is a good benchmark to know how much you can get, even as a consumer. Like if you pay 60 for a pre-workout and this other one's 60, look at some others that are 60 and you might be surprised.
I think that a lot of brands have premium marketing teams and use very popular influencers, and that's why people think they're premium.
Premium influencers. That's a
Yep.
good one.
That's something new. That's pretty cool.
So, Kaitlyn, have you used any Panda products?
I have not.
Okay, so for Robic and Shane, this is a question: do you guys consider Panda a premium brand?
I don't. I
I
think
wouldn't say
they good. I think they good. I just don't think they premium.
I
Maybe a few products, but not
Yeah,
really.
I would say predominantly. I would again, it's subjective, obvious. I mean, I wouldn't. I would put them up there because a lot of their stuff is around 50, 55, and they do put in quite a bit. But then some of them do play near that, like this. Is it Skull, Panther? They have a few Panto. They have a few that play near the bottom end. But if you're like, I think a good example would be like, would you say they're closer to a Pollen or would you say they're closer to Jack Factory in terms of formulations? And in that sense, I would say they are closer to a Pollen than like a Cellucor C4.
Yeah.
And in that sense, based on that just like point, because there's no real in between, I would say that they are in the premium range. If you look across the board, like Optimum as well, like you would probably put them. I would put them up there, and they do have a few more commodity, like cost-effective ones. But like Robert has with the Gym Classic, and then even Desperado, and then. But I think a majority of their stuff is plain in that range, and they are priced around 50, 55. So I think I would put them up. I would put them up there. I would think based
Yeah,
on what everyone
I
said.
think in my opinion is that they not necessarily a premium brand. I think that they have a few of the products that would correspond with that. But yeah, they definitely somewhere in between, but probably closer to the top. And I would put them on the same level as, for example, maybe huge supplements and maybe hostile in a way. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
I could put
hostile is a little
Hostile,
bit
yeah.
higher. I think, but around that. So I consider them a good brand for sure. But premium, depends on the product. I would say, but they definitely up there.
There's not many brands that consistently sell every product at $60 and justify it in
Yeah.
value, like Robert. So I mean, it's hard to find someone who can kind of be in that realm.
But do you feel, Shane, you've been doing this long enough? Do you think Robic is almost setting the standard a little bit? Because you might have been one of those first to clip in that 60, 55, 60, maybe a little bit north on the pre-workouts. And I feel like now I see more of them. Maybe not the same quality, but I think people are thinking, oh, well, if he can do it, I can fucking do it.
To be honest, the first that I recall kind of coining this term, not necessarily coining this term, I think it was very loose in the beginning, and then it kind of just stuck, was Myoblocks and Chemix. Chemix was, and his was very different. Guerrilla Chemist, he was doing it in a sense that things weren't overly like fully dosed, like over the top, but he was putting a lot of like meticulous effort into how things were done and the ingredients he used. And his prices were all 40, 50s, and Myoblocks was the same. They didn't do it so much in an obvious sense, like 12 citrulline and all this stuff, but they did try. They were kind of one of the first to push an entire brand, uh, I guess, above that 50, 60 mark, and they didn't really vary from it. And then obviously you had the rush of a few others like Morphogen, like a Pro, that and Apollon that kind of like, no, this is what a 60 should have really been. But as far as I remember, they were some of the earliest that started kind of pushing the I guess what you would pay for a pre-workout, and then obviously they would say the first premium brand to really do premium versions was like, of course, Cellucor, the Ultimate Series in like 2014.
I remember there was a brand, maybe right around COVID, that came out called Shifted, that they had like a $99 pre-workout, but it was like literally like months later, they brought it down to like $49, which was more of a price point.
Oh,
But
okay.
I actually
I was
said
gonna
to
look.
them, what were you guys thinking?
I was gonna look it up, but I don't need to look it up. So you can bring it down to 49. What the fuck was it doing at 99?
Wow. No, to me, I was not very familiar with Marblogs, but definitely Gorilla Chemist. I remember that his formulations were actually pretty good. I mean, the guy definitely knows his formulas and definitely knows his ingredients, and I would say fairly innovative too. So I actually I'm a fan. But when I was just starting in the industry, to me the benchmark, so to speak, was NutraBio and believe it or not, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was for me like premium. I thought that that's premium, and to be honest with you, I still consider them NutraBio and Gym. I would consider up there, premium brands. I don't know, like across the board or not, but they pretty up there in terms of. I remember that the NutriBio was among the first ones that I saw. The pre workout was either 49 or 59. I don't remember, but the Extreme Pre or something like that. I think that was it. I think it was like around $50 or $60, but it was loaded.
I
Gym
think the
was like a 30.
about all of this is that if you were to ask like somebody in the general population who doesn't really know about supplements the way we do, if they've heard of these brands that we are calling premium, they probably have no idea what we're talking about. Like
Yeah.
if I my brother like, hey, NutriBio is a great brand, he'd have no idea and be like, Ghost, Rise, like which one do I get? You know?
Yeah.
And they look at it as you pay $60 for that. Again, I'll go to Walmart and get the same thing, which is not for
No.
$29.99. So, Kaitlyn, how did you get introduced to Apollon? Because I know you've done some Apollon reviews. They just how did you guys get introduced, or how did they come across your purview?
I'll say it. I reached out to her.
Okay,
I reached out to her because I'm sorry, Caitlin, I just jumped in.
No.
I reached out to her because, like you said, not to be sexist, but she's the only female. I was like, what the fuck, that's unexpected. But I liked her reviews, and I thought that, and I don't even think I watched the review with a protein. I think it was energy drink, but just the way she described it, and the presence and how, like you said, how she's on mic, and it was very, very impressive, and the delivery was. Then I scrolled and I watched a few of other reviews, and I thought that she was. She impressed me, and you know how I feel about reviewers. I thought it was very, very impressive how she, talks about transparency, how she talks about formulas, and how she talks about flavors. It was pretty cool. So I reached out to her, and so I don't know if she knew about Apollon or not, but I reached out to her first.
Yeah, I'd seen Apollon kind of floating around, and one of the biggest things I remember is I commented on, I feel like it was maybe a goated post where I was like, I cannot believe the transparency of this protein, because it's something that you rarely see in the industry is transparency on like a protein, you know?
yeah. So, what was the first product you tried from Apollon? I feel like I know you do so many reviews; it's kind of hard to remember what.
No Way Out, the butter cookie flavor.
Okay.
I remember I took a sip of it and I was actually blown away by how good it was, because usually when a brand is like looks like that on a label, I'm kind of skeptical like, oh, is this actually going to taste good, or is it going to just be a really good label? And I remember I reviewed it and I gave my husband a sip of it so he could try it, and he drank the whole thing. So
Robert, has anybody said good, bad, or different with the occlusions? Because I don't think people know that there's occlusions in there, or inclusions, or whatever they are.
I didn't promote it. We didn't promote it. In terms of, like, how a lot of brands and a lot of people are kind of making sure to emphasize inclusions, because in the beginning, I mean, I always voiced my opinion that I thought the inclusions in real, like, sports supplement, in a real supplement, I don't think they have place. I mean, I'm kind of like contradicting myself, because we have inclusions in cookies and cream, and we have inclusions in butter cookie, but I'm not a big believer in that, because now you're adding, even if it's a little bit, but you're still adding sugar. So if we are talking about clean diet, and we're talking about, um, uh, clean eating, and being an athlete and training, and eating healthy and eliminating sugar and all that, I feel like we're contradicting ourselves, and I was always against it. I was very vocal about the fact that I don't think that it has presence in it. I understand it tastes good, I understand, but you know what, I even watch these reviewers, and they're like, oh, look, it has inclusions, oh, it's candy and this, and I'm,
Yay!
yeah, what the fuck, I mean, what's wrong with you? But when the initially, we did not request inclusions in butter cookie. We didn't. But
Okay.
obviously, it's a biscuit flavor. So when the manufacturer sent it to us, he included inclusions, the cookie
Yeah.
pieces. And it's like, okay, it makes sense, and it does obviously taste good. And I figured out, you know what? If we have one or two flavors with inclusions as an option for somebody who wants it, because let's be honest, I mean, we are running a business after all. I don't think there is anything wrong with it. If we would have and would concentrate only on inclusions and making it sweet and including honey and cane sugar and stuff like that in our products, then I would say, okay, no, that's pushing it. But yeah, it came with inclusions, and like I said, we only have two flavors right now that have inclusions in all our proteins, and we have quite a few of them.
Yeah.
So I kind of let it go. But to be honest with you, yes, it tastes phenomenal. It's really an amazing flavor. It's our number one seller in No Way Out, but at the same time, it's not my pride and joy. My pride
Right.
and joy is the fact that it's a WPC 80, but because of transparency, it actually yields a clean, perfect 25 grams of protein. So it's not 25 minus 20%. It's actually 31.25
hmm
minus 20%, giving you an actual 25 grams of protein. That's my pride and joy. That's what I'm proud of the most.
And I think people that are listening, we wanted to specify like the inclusions. Like if you've had the Isoblast Oreo, the Oreos are big. I mean, let's be honest, they're pretty
Yeah,
healthy
it's big.
size.
They're
But
huge.
with the cookie, it's completely opposite. They're almost like microscopic. So you
Yeah.
taste them, but I don't want people to think, oh, are they big, small, whatever. But it's complete opposite.
Another thing I do want to say that I love about your protein specifically is why on earth are we putting a fat burning matrix in like every protein lately? Like, why do we need L-carnitine in a protein? Can't we just have whey protein isolate and whey protein concentrate and just call it a day? Like, it is one thing that just makes me angry because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll try this protein and it has MCT oil. I have a little bit of a sensitive stomach, so like MCT oil doesn't really compute with me. So it's like, okay, moving on, not going to have that. I just wish that we had good protein period and you could spend your money elsewhere, you know?
Well, because the thing is, again, there are certain things that we can do, but there are certain things that it's not necessary. So, there were a few times where people would say the term kitchen sink, right? And that's where you have shitload of ingredients in one product. And I said, like, I will always dispute the fact that we have a kitchen sink, because even though on some of our, you know, formulas, especially pre workouts, we have a long list of ingredients, say like 12 or 15. But I always make sure that they work synergetically, that they actually make sense. Because otherwise, like, what's the point? But then, and I talked about it, believe it or not, with Ben from Price Plow a couple of days ago, where you would have brands, for example, having a pre workout or a nootropic, and all of a sudden you see CDP choline, and you have alpha GPC as well. Like shitload of choline that makes absolutely no sense. And instead of having, a good focus and concentration, people actually getting headaches. So why would you throw two choline products in one? It makes no sense. So the same thing you will see with protein. All of a sudden, protein with creatine and protein with glutamine and protein with this. Like, why? Just make it simple. You want to make it a little bit creamier? Yeah, maybe you can add a little bit of fats. Okay, that's fine. You can play with those, but don't overcomplicate it. At the end of the day, it's protein, and we can add to it whatever we want. You don't have to. Especially carnitine, that makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, why would you put carnitine in it? It's not going to do shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to do shit. It's not going to make you thinner, and especially if it's a protein with inclusions. I'm like, why the fuck do you have inclusions, which are sugar, and then you have carnitine in it or something similar to that? Makes no sense. But they want to show, like, oh, look how cool we are. We did this, and it's a cool formulation. It's a fucking protein. There's no need for that.
Well, Shane, do you remember when BSN years ago did what was it, Isoburn or whatever? It had like Garcinia cambogia and some other like just cheap ass stuff in the protein powder.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's like it's been around for a while. Like, I mean, it's protein powder. Like, if you want to mix things up, have at it. Like, it's very like it. I've talked to so many people that will say, "Hey, I have a groundbreaking protein," which is impossible. It is what it is. Like, if you're going to try and differentiate yourself, have at it. As long as there's protein in there, right? Like, there's not really much you can do. So when people add things like weight loss or even creatine or whatever you do, give it a shot. I mean, if like I'm not a huge fan. I have 20 pounds of chocolate ISO 100 in my garage right now because I don't give two shits about what it tastes like. Not that it's bad. It's just that's why I have 20 pounds of chocolate. But uh, like if you're gonna for people like me, realistically, if I'm looking for more on my money, like results, you got to add something. Like taste isn't really going to bother me too much, but so when you and the list of things to add is few and far between. So like probiotics, weight loss, like I said, some. So long as you're not spiking it, hey, throw it in there. Give me some extra.
So wait, you're saying you're one of the few that doesn't care how a protein tastes?
No, I assume, I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of people that don't care. I don't know.
Because we talk about it all the time. It's like EAAs and protein. And again, pre-workouts for me, if they taste good, it's a plus. It's more of what it does to me and what's in it. I'm the old school.
I don't give a shit what anything tastes like at all.
I feel like soon we're gonna see like GLP-1s in protein. Throw some Ozempic in there.
You already got that. I mean, not Ozempic, but you got the
That's true.
GLP-1 approach.
Yes, the GLP-1 support protein.
I mean, it's like I said, what else are you going to do, really? You're going to add more protein? Like, okay, 30 gram scoop, 50, sure. Like, they're stuck for choice, man. They don't have much else they can do. Adding a bit of this and a bit of that, sure. And if it's still pretty good price, throw some more in. I'll take it.
Kaitlyn, aside from you mentioned first form earlier, and obviously pollen, as I say, safe space. What brands do you like? Like, what are you excited to? If a company reaches out and says, "Hey, we want to send you some stuff," and you're excited because it's X brand or X product.
Man, that's a great question. I would say BPN is another one that I really truly love for their endurance products, specifically because obviously I do a lot of training. So I take their electrolytes. I love like their Go bar. It's really a nice, easy thing for training. And I'm not really a big fan of their protein because I can't do casein. I have an intolerance to it. But I don't know. Really, I'm open to all brands reaching out to me. But if their product is crap, I'm not going to even entertain the idea. Like I always make sure I do my research. You know,
Kaitlyn, I'm sorry, Shane. You got a shit-eating grin on your face. What do you got there?
pollen.
You see it? It's not been tall enough. Damn. There we go. That's fucking good. I just got this when she said send something.
So you got the old
This
and
is
the
the
new. Is the one underneath your original?
No, this is empty, obviously. But I'm just saying that I had to lift it up so you could see it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have seen it. But this is badass. This thing is the shit. Thought I'd just throw it in there. No reason other than it literally came yesterday, and I had it for shoulders yesterday.
So you don't care about the pump for like shoulders and stuff?
I mean, shit, if it happens, it happens. I'm far more like strength focused. Like,
Okay.
I understand feel good pumps, like, help muscles grow, blah, blah. For me, it's always been, hey, if you can bench more, you're going to get bigger type thing. I don't bench, but in that sense, if there's more weight, works for me.
Yeah, because I love Lionheart for lower legs. I do legs twice a week, hamstrings one day and quads the other. I don't need the pump. I just want the
You say
adrenaline.
lower legs.
I'm sorry, lower half is what I meant to say.
Oh, I was going to say. So what the fuck? What are we splitting up legs?
Abs, like what's going on?
Kayla, did you have? I know I told you to bring some. Did you have questions? If we continue.
I really don't have any questions. I'm just here to have a good conversation.
All right. Have you tried the Lionheart yet, Kaitlyn? Because being obviously a CrossFitter, I don't know how important like pump is to you. Pump ingredients in a pre-workout for you is.
Pump ingredients are very not important in a pre-workout. In fact, they can actually be detrimental. Like if I'm doing a workout that has many power cleans and kipping pull-ups and my grip gets pumped, I'm screwed. I took a pump ingredient once and I did an assault bike workout, and that was the worst mistake I think I've ever made in my life. Like,
now you know why I like her.
yeah.
Because I felt exactly the same. Like the pump ingredients, I do it obviously because again, it's a business, and we have to have pump products, but I could care less. Like I said it I think few times here. I think Hooligan is the worst product ever for anyone who does endurance training, and especially if you do something like combat training. And I told you the story in Thailand. I did one round of clinch work, and all of a sudden, with the pump in my arms, by the second round, I was done. I couldn't move. I couldn't move my arms. I couldn't. It's not a good pre workout. That's the reason why I think pump is personally. And number one, what does pump do? It's a temporary thing. It's not like you're gonna walk around like this all the time. I mean, you're not gonna be pumped for days or anything like that. It's temporary. You feel good probably at the gym, but honestly, if your diet is good and if you're training hard, you will get pumped anyway. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not a very important thing. Energy and focus, that's what matters. The performance. That's, to me, that's ideal pre-workout. That's the reason why, I would always prefer Lionheart to any other pre-workouts.
I
I'm gonna
agree.
sound
I think pumps up the ego a little bit when you're training.
Yeah, 100%.
The reality is carbs and salt are going to get you a sicker pump than any of those pump ingredients probably.
Yeah, it's just, if people want pump, okay, that's fine. But other than Lionheart, we only have one pre-workout that doesn't have any pump ingredient, and that's from Anarchy Labs Ronin. It's just a little bit extreme in terms of when it comes to performance, and it's very, you know, aggressive. But again, pump to me is, I would say, irrelevant.
I'm gonna soundbite that, the one that says Hooligan's the worst product, and just cut it.
That's fine.
Shane, I'll ask this to you. Somebody had asked, do you think Sebum is just as popular as a brand now that he has retired? And maybe we'll throw in Raw and Revive as well, because I know Sebum's like involved in all of it.
Wait, sorry, what was the question?
Is Sebum the brand? The brand that Sebum that works with, Raw, Revive, and the Bumstead brand. Is it just as popular now that he has retired versus when he was active? Or have you noticed anything or heard anything?
I don't know. I assume it's like, are you talking about the Sebum series?
Yes.
I feel like that's a bit difficult to judge because it's really just his name attached, and it's not like it's a raw product, and Raw Nutrition doesn't really have a. We've got Essential Pre, and then the next step up, which competes with like the C4 Ultimate and Gorilla Mode, is it's not necessarily his brand. It's Raw Nutrition's core flagship, basically. So they're going to push the hell out of it, whether he's competing or not. I wouldn't say it's a reflection on him,
Okay.
but like I think Raw Nutrition's probably pumping the shit out of that just because. And you've also got they have his protein as well. I don't think they have an isolate outside of isolate, so it's that Savage and protein are like I guess they're key players, and then you have the lesser Essential Pre and that stuff. So I mean, like, yeah, it'd be hard to judge because Raw Nutrition's going to be pumping it at that price point, regardless. I would have thought whether he's doing anything or not.
I think I know what you mean. You mean that is his popularity is as pronounced as when he was competing. That's what you meant, I think.
Maybe it was kind of a weird question that somebody had sent in. So I don't know if he's
Yeah.
referring to the brand
I
or Sebum the person.
I think that I think everybody following their retirement, or almost everybody, I don't know who comes to mind, is probably a little bit less. I mean, the level of popularity and the hype, I think, drops because it's across any sport. As long as you compete and you're at the top of your game, then people are talking about you. But
Yeah.
then once you retire, I think that little by little, like even today in bodybuilding, Dexter Jackson and all those guys, nobody talks about them. I mean, not many people do, even though he was Mr. Olympia. He even posted recently, I think he said, nobody cares about me, or nobody talk, or I don't get the respect, or something like that. I think he posted somewhere. Um, I think that you have to be in a moment. So my personal opinion is that I don't know, like the whole acquisition, because ESN obviously bought Raw, so I don't know how that is working out for them. But I think that I would assume if CBOM was at 100%, I would probably say, and I could be wrong, that he's right now probably at about above 90, but not at 100. I still think that he's slightly dropped. I don't think people talk about him as much as they used to. Again, could be wrong. If somebody disagrees with me, that's fine. But I think the level of popularity has dropped quite a bit. I
Okay.
mean, a little bit at least. But you know what? I just recently visited a manufacturing facility where Dorian Yates products are manufactured. And I was shocked because I never looked into his products, only maybe initially. And it's always about Dorian Yates being 6-time Mr. Olympia, and that raw brutality and that hardness and conditioning, and then that hardcore. And all of a sudden, I look at the products. I was just curious, and like, does it say DY? And because there was no Dorian Yates on it. So
Yeah.
to me, it was like a big shocker because it was always Dorian Yates, Dorian Yates, yeah, Dorian Yates. So I see DY. I'm like, is that Dorian Yates? I grab it, and it even has a little bit of a pink color on it. I'm like, the fuck? And there's no photo of Dorian Yates,
Yeah.
none. And guess the product?
Protein?
Worse, collagen.
Oh, geez. Okay.
You know, where the fuck would you even imagine if you ever told me that Dorian Yates is gonna have a collagen product? I would say you out of your fucking mind. That's not possible. But that just goes to show that just being Dorian Yates is not enough. And you know, he's a former Mr. Olympia, he's a legend. But today, to push into the market and to sell more products, you have to basically be a little bit more diverse. And just being Dorian Yates is not enough. So there is no photo of him. There is doesn't even say Dorian Yates. It's just DY. So
Yeah.
it's DY supplements, which sounds pretty cool. No reference basically to him. And then you have it's a collagen product, and I think it's pretty smart. I actually think it's very, very smart because he cannot bank on being Dorian Yates and go mainstream and sell the products to a wider audience. He cannot
Yep.
because it's just the way it is. So I think C-Bomb, you know, I mean, he's a retired athlete. He's a legend. He's fantastic and, you know, very popular. But I think the level of popularity, I think, slightly dropped. You know, it's less because he's former Mr. Olympia.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, to harp on what you're saying about Dorian, though, if you've seen him lately, Rob, like he's very spiritual. He's into
Yeah,
yoga, so I can almost see like maybe him rebranding to that kind of yoga side a little
but
bit,
it
like not the
would.
yoga, but the collagen.
I think it would be very, very smart because Dorian competed last time in 1996.
Yeah.
1996, I mean, that's a very, very long time ago. And, you know, today's kids, they don't remember him. They maybe heard of him, but, you know, they follow, I don't know, Nick Walker and Huddy and Derek and those
Yeah.
guys. And I don't even think that they sell as much as those, you know, kids influencers on social media. I think it's just the whole market, the whole industry has changed tremendously. So just being C-bomb, it's you know, it's not going to last forever. I think
Yeah.
that with each and every year, the level of your popularity will drop. If you ask me, I think Mike Tyson would have knocked out Anthony Joshua easily. I don't think it would even be a competition. But today, Anthony Joshua's name, you know, especially in marketing, it's bigger than Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Caitlin, being a reviewer, do you follow reviewers or keep your eyes on anybody, or do you stay in your lane and not care?
I mean, I watch them just because it's entertaining, but I don't go and look at other reviewers for content, you know, because it's just like I'm always just going to be me. That's really all that it is. So if you don't like me, you don't have to follow me, but you know, whatever.
Do you look at them for face value, or do you kind of cringe with some of it? Like sit back and be like, "Oh, I'll do this better," or "What the hell are they doing?"
There's always something to learn. And that's how I like to look at things is like, how can I learn from this person, whether it be good or bad?
Okay, Rob, do you want to talk about? Like, I know you were the international man across the world, you know, for a couple of weeks. Is there any news you want to share about India or you were not Abu Dhabi, but I know you were all over. Anything related you want to talk about? How your trip was and whatnot?
No, I mean, we went to India to meet with one of our distributors that went very well in Hyderabad, and we met with a person who does ingredients. So we have something going on there in terms of like bringing some ingredients, kind of like we did with New Euphoria. So kind of working on that a little bit again, just to expand our horizons. So the trip to India was very successful. Loved India, loved the country, and then to Budapest we went. Well, I went by myself to meet with our distributor, our partner from Switzerland, Martin, who is expanding more and more into Europe now, not just Switzerland.
Okay.
And we had a meeting regarding bringing an athlete on board who we gonna announce on December 15th.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we were exploring manufacturing in Europe. So we pretty much have I would say, I can say it, a done deal that, you know, some pollen products are going to be manufactured in Europe for Europe. So that's kind of exciting because never in my life did I expect that we're gonna get this far. So that's a huge honor, and that's pretty much it. Those were the trips.
Okay. Shane, anything exciting for you to report? We kind of covered a lot today.
Christmas. That's exciting as fuck. What are you talking
Oh, what are
about?
you doing for your lights this year?
Yeah. I know you're gonna win.
Jeez.
So Kaitlyn, 2 years ago, Shane won. It was like his house looked like Christmas Vacation, and he won the neighborhood. Did you actually win the award for neighborhood house or something?
I was in the newspaper. It wasn't
Either way.
necessarily winning an award, but yeah. So I bought a. Hold on, let me figure it out in feet because motherfuckers don't understand.
You were the New Zealand Clark Griswold, brother.
So I
So
bought
if,
the
if we
last.
would have given him an award, it would be House of the Year.
Yes.
So
There you go.
last time I got paid when I got my Arnold paycheck, first two things I purchased because I was like, let's do this, was a claw machine. It's meant to be in my office, but this is just temporary because I didn't know if you could get a claw machine, like a full-sized arcade thing, shipped to your house, and it showed up. I plugged it in, the thing worked flawlessly, and you can change. I made coins with my face on it, so you put them in. You get and you can change the probability. So it's like 1 in 10 will actually be a hard grab. Either way, I bought that, and then I bought a 20-foot outdoor Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So that is what's sitting outside my house right now. It's pretty fucking big. But I feel like because you can buy extensions for the bottom. So the next time I get paid, like from the Arnold, when I get a bunch, I'm going to just, hey, give me another fucking, what would that be? I don't know, 6 meters. Sorry, 6 feet. Give me another 6 feet, and I just slap that shit on the bottom, push it up again. That's what I'm going to do. But right now,
I need to get a 10-foot bluey.
the hell? No. What the fuck am I going to do? What the hell is he doing at Christmas? What is she doing at Christmas? Not related.
Australia, New Zealand. Come on, it's popular down there.
I refused. They had like a dog or like a puppy with a scarf that could blow up, and I was like, "What the fuck is a puppy doing as a blow up for my Christmas display?" He doesn't fit. I didn't see him in a Christmas movie. I have a reindeer, a snowman, a Santa, and a Nutcracker. Okay. When we start getting into some weird shit, and then it had a surfing Santa. I was like, "Why the hell is Santa on a surfboard? This is Christmas. He should be hard at work. This motherfucker should be getting ready." Training, not surfing. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's
that's
summer.
What I have.
Wait a minute, it's summer now, right? In New Zealand, isn't it?
Yeah, but he still needs to get his shit together. What is he doing on a surfboard?
Oh my god. Okay.
Bluey never went to the North Pole. If I'm meant to replicate a Christmas site outside my house, what the fuck is a cartoon character doing on the lawn? No business.
Dude, you have a 6-year-old daughter or whatever, just out of courtesy for her.
So I got a Bluey gnome, put in the garden. She can look at him every day. I'm not making Bluey a dominant part of my Christmas setup. Eat shit.
Surprised you didn't have a blow up of yourself made like on the front lawn, like waving
No,
at people.
so interestingly, down the side of our new house, there's like a huge retaining wall full of like just overgrown shit. And so we got it removed, and the guy said, "Are you going to put flowers here?" I was like, "No, I'm not putting flowers there. I'm not going to take care." He's like, "What are you going to do?" I was like, "Now that you make me think about it, I wonder if I could get a statue of me, and then one of my daughter, and then one of my wife, but like Romanesque, like put my face on like a Roman statue and just put it, because no one can really see it. However, I think it would just be cool to know, like, hey, I have this in my backyard, and that is me."
And then Nikki over you with grapes, like just a statue of her over you with grapes.
No, we would be separate. So we don't like. I want to keep it consistent, right? So like, you know how you walk down an aisle of a museum and you see like display. That's kind of what I was shooting for down the side of my house. But I think it might be difficult to get a car in. It's got to be size for size, right? But anyway,
ceases to amaze you, dude. Nothing ceases to amaze me.
Yo, what else are you going to do there? I don't want to put roses. That shit dies. A statue, I won't have to do anything. It'll just sit there. It'd be great. How many people do you know have a statue of themselves and their daughter and their wife in their garden? Not many.
Thank God nobody.
Yeah. Hey, either way, whatever you want to say.
Maybe that'll be the next award for next year, end of the year. Like the owner, a statue of the owner holding like the product of the year.
I mean, it's a prestigious award, but if I'm going to have something personalized like a statue of it, it's going to be me, or like, just Ava. My daughter will love the shit out
like
of that.
how in the movie industry you get an Oscar, so in the supplement industry you get a Shane.
There you go. Now you're onto something.
I'll just have a naked statue of like holding like a pre-workout rather than like whatever the thing does.
Well, a pre-workout in front of your stuff to block
Yeah.
the stuff.
Is he naked? No, I think he's like a characterized version. Is he not?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
There's
He's
no
just
gender. There's no gender.
He's just a flat Ken. Yeah. I mean, I can get away with that.
Guys, last question is as we wind down here again. It's Christmas time, and I don't know if we'll be on again before that, but want to throw out your favorite Christmas movies so people can agree to disagree. Kaitlyn, any staples you watch every year religiously?
And there's a couple. There's obviously Christmas Vacation.
Love you.
Elf is a good one, classic. And I would say Christmas with the Cranks is another good one. I feel like is underrated.
It's a good movie.
Okay. Robert, do you want to say Rocky 4 and Die Hard or something different?
No. I was going to say Die Hard, but I still don't know if it qualifies as a Christmas movie.
It's during Christmas, so it's a Christmas.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Home Alone because it's such a classic. But yeah, Die Hard is. I don't know if it classifies. If it does, then Die Hard.
So I watched a roast on Comedy Central of Bruce Willis, and that's how he ended. He said, "I want to clear the air. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie." Coming straight from his mouth.
He's probably right.
And it's
That doesn't fucking matter. He was just in it. He didn't make it. He was just in it. He didn't handle the distribution and the writing. I don't think that means shit. It's a Christmas movie. It's at Christmas. It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it like I said on this one, I don't know because both you both have a point. So I don't know honestly. Like it is on Christmas. It is. But you know what? One of the most underrated movies when it comes to Christmas is Bad Santa.
Oh,
Bad Santa is amazing. I think.
Okay.
That's a good
Not
one.
exactly a family movie though.
No.
Well,
you think Die Hard?
I think Die Hard is more of a family movie than Bad Santa.
Well, if you go in that dark, do you want to throw in one of the Terrifiers? Because wasn't he walking around in a Santa suit in one of the movies?
Was it at Christmas?
Well, it was Christmas for him.
No, it has to be at Christmas. Just because you fucking dress up as Santa doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
So what you're saying is it's a Christmas. It qualifies as a Christmas movie. It's if it's on Christmas.
If it's during Christmas and there's snow, it's a Christmas movie. Jingle All the Way, Christmas movie.
Okay, fair enough. I mean that's a valid argument because it is on Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. Love Actually. Look at Love Actually. Christmas movie per se.
Great one.
All revolved around Christmas. Wasn't necessarily about Santa. Just some random relation. But hey, I think as long as it's around Christmas, it's a Christmas movie.
So Shane, so this is new. Is Rocky 4 a Christmas movie then?
Is that around Christmas?
Doesn't he fight on Christmas Day, Robert, or New Year's Day?
No, it doesn't count then.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think it's on Christmas.
Okay, because I want to say
really?
he fought in December or something.
But he
but his
does
training
worse
montage.
than Merry Christmas. I think. I don't know. But
If his training montage was longer, I think it doesn't count because it would have started. You don't like what they train like in that 10-second montage. It's like what, a month? So it would have started in November. It doesn't count. Around Christmas.
Do you agree or disagree, Kaitlyn, with some of the men's wisdom here? Die Hard, any of that stuff?
Yeah, if it happens during Christmas, qualifies as a Christmas movie. Especially if there's snow involved, because then it's just 100%.
Especially if there's snow involved.
Mm-hmm.
There was no snow in Jingle All the Way.
It's called Jingle All the Way. Jingle is a Christmas term.
Yeah, that's another point. You put it in the title. It kind of has to be.
I'm just going on your premise, Shane. Your rules here, brother.
I mean, last week I just watched Home Alone 1, 2, and Elf with my daughter.
Okay. Yes, Elf and Christmas Vacation are the two staples every year in my house. Can't complain on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's ready for Chevy Chase. I don't think she's ready for some of those other ones. Home Alone. I forgot how brutal that little bastard was to those thieves. Like, he tossed 4 bricks at that dude's head from like
Hot-
10
hot
stories up. The iron, and then the electric, like straight to the electric shock, straight to power. And then he, what was it? The staple in his ass, and then his nutsack.
Well,
Man,
the BB,
that's
the BB gun to his genitalia as well.
all of it. Like, and then the paint can, and then like all of these things. Just one of those things, they would have been stopped. That's it. No more. We're done. Movie's over.
I mean, it's a
That
story
little,
of resistance because
Oh,
the
hold on
Roberts-
a second. Chris says that Rocky IV, the match was on Christmas Day.
Yep. Thank you, Chris. So I was right.
no, it doesn't count. Russians don't celebrate Christmas. Is that true?
On January 6th.
Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't count.
Kaitlyn, you were saying something a minute ago. What were you saying?
I was saying the robbers in Home Alone are very persistent, so it's a story of persistence, you know, because most people would give up right away. Smart people would give up right away, but you know, then we wouldn't have a movie, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, it's always good seeing you, Kaitlyn. We appreciate you joining us tonight. For the watchers and the listeners, plug your podcast, your social media. If there's anybody you want to give props to, I mean, the floor is yours.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Kaitlyn Kenna Fitness, and then a podcast is the Powerhouse Mentality. You can find that on Apple and Spotify.
Perfect. And Robin and Shane, it's always good seeing you. Thank you so much, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Merry Christmas.